Within this theme of hope for a better world, we are going to share about education. Paramhansa Yogananda, in his autobiography, wrote, "The idea of an all-sided education for youth had always been in my heart, and I determined to found a school where young boys could develop the full stature of manhood." And in 1917, he founded the first How to Live school in Ranchi, India. And inspired by his example and his teachings, his disciple Swami Kriyananda founded a system of education called Education for Life. And over the past 40 years, many hundreds of students have been trained with this system, and all the Education for Life schools around the world are a testament of the success of this system, of this education. And in Education for Life, joy and learning, joy and academic excellence, they go hand by hand. And material goals we know are necessary, but there are more intangible and subtle goals that need to be considered. And life teaches us that happiness depends on human skills, like how to get along with others and with yourself too, and how to cooperate, how to persevere to achieve your goals, how to focus, how to be a loyal friend. And so education is like an adventure where we can really develop all the facets of ourselves, our true potential, and develop harmoniously all the tools of our being, like our body, our feeling, our will, and our intellect. And so now we will share with you two brief testimonials from the Living Wisdom High School in Palo Alto that applies Education for Life. And so you can have a taste and have the vibration from the voices of a student and a couple of parents involved in the school. And if you feel inspired, if you would like to contribute, if you would like to be part of this Education for Life movement, to just help children and young adults in education and to achieve happiness and true success, please visit edforlife.org. Thank you.
So when I first came to Living Wisdom High School, I was very, very unsure. Even the idea of going to Living Wisdom High School was very far out of my comfort zone. I attended a pretty traditional learning style, read the textbook, take notes, watch a PowerPoint presentation, take a test at private school before. And I mean, I personally thought that, I would simply go the same way everyone else in my class did to similar high schools, etc. But then Mom found out that apparently, there's the School of Happiness, you should go. I was very skeptical. Really? A place that teaches happiness and meditation? That doesn't really sound like a high school. Even when I came, I was openly skeptical because, to be honest, yoga in the morning sounded something slightly absurd to me, and I, for a while, simply couldn't comprehend it. But the thing is, and I honestly can't believe I'm saying this, old me would definitely not have believed that I'm saying this, it works. The meditation, the surprisingly slightly neo-traditional, but their activities, the whole friendship thing, it actually works. I'm saying this as someone who just really was like, oh dear God, yeah, this is very interesting, but I really don't know how this works. Person, it's nice. It's nice going to class and knowing that history won't just be memorizing dates. It will also be figuring out how people tie into future things, cause and effect, and also learning about just more specialized topics, because if you're curious, why not? It's nice learning the concepts for math instead of memorizing countless formulas and realizing on the day of the test, oh dear God, I think I've forgotten them all. It's nice, just nice. Things seem so much less stressful when you realize that A, the teachers are people too, and B, they do not exist for the sole purpose of giving you mountains of homework that you will never completely understand but will not be able to ask questions about. So yeah, personally, I guess I liked it. It's allowed me to sort of figure out what I want to do, and also just the moving at your own pace thing that Krishav mentioned is very real and helps surprisingly a lot.
Hello, how are you? I'm Jack and this is Esther. We're Joseph's parents, and we've been in Living Wisdom for a long time. My learning about education, Joseph was our oldest, and I spent a long time trying to find the right school. And I visited a bunch of different schools, being that education is my area. And I studied schools, I interviewed people, I shadowed, I looked, and then I came across this jewel of a school, Living Wisdom School itself, and in Palo Alto, and I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe that such a school existed. I had never seen anything like that. I'd never studied a school like this. And Joseph went in there his first year with Shama as his teacher, and it was fantastic. I couldn't believe that I could leave my child, the precious thing I had in my life, leave him there and feel totally confident that he was going to be loved, supported, he was going to grow and be nurtured and so forth. And I've had that feeling all the way through, even now as a high school student. I know that I'm leaving him in good hands, that he's going to be challenged with a rigorous curriculum, that he's going to be add meaning to his life.
As somebody who's got nearly 30 years in working in the public sector, private and non-governmental, some of the things that I look for and that we need in the workforce are people that can think critically, people with empathy, people that understand the needs of others, that know how to work with other people, and that can deal with adversity, whether it's changing jobs, whether it's dealing with, a population of folks that are very challenged, like the homeless or people living in violence and abuse. So you need a lot of skills to have a very good career, to stay in a job. And I feel those are some of the benefits that we've acquired, that I think my kids have picked up at Living Wisdom: the ability to know yourself, to be loved and appreciated for all the differences, for all the things that you are, to have the chance to explore, figuring out who you are, what you love, what's your passion. All the steps, all the activities, all the outings sort of led up to that. I was thinking about resource allocation because we all know right now the economy's not great and it's going to get worse. In the world of work, organizations, businesses are also dealing with really limited resources. And I think of a camping trip that we took to Malakoff Diggins, and it felt like we were kind of running out of food at one point. We spent about 3 days there, and we had to really keep an eye, and the kids cooked the food, they did the dishes, and it was a really interesting experience because we sort of had to deal with, okay, we've got to be here 3 days. How long are we going to make these potatoes and eggs last, So there was just, I look back over the 9 years that we've been with Living Wisdom and realized all those activities have such relevance for helping our children survive and thrive in the real world. So there's not a price you can put on that. And if you're looking at Living Wisdom as an option, I can just say you have to look at the total educational experience, and how do you raise children who never want to stop learning? Because that's really the way to advance in a career, to always be learning and to always love that practice, and think of others. We're solving problems that are affecting our world, and we need thinkers like the students that come through Living Wisdom.